Welcome back to Automation, the car company Tycoon, everyone. Today I'm going to be building an exact replica of the 2JZ GTE. So I suppose we'll get right in. If you want to replicate this engine for yourself, then I recommend that you go to the very end of the video, because I'm going to leave all the screenshots there that you need to recreate it exactly as I have done. If that is what you wish to do, please do credit me though, I'd greatly appreciate that. Anyways, let's start right off. So we know that the 2JZ was an inline 6 engine, and the block material was made out of cast iron, and now the family capacity is actually already correct. It was 86 millimeters by 86 millimeters bore and stroke. So this is perfect right over here. We have a dual overhead cam 4 valve that is 24 in total. The head material was actually also cast iron, so that's great, and we can move on through here then. Now the crank was actually made out of forged steel, so that is perfectly fine. However, the conrods and pistons were actually made out of aluminum alloy, which we don't have in this game. So for the conrods, I think I'm going to go forged light, and for the pistons, forged heavy, because this is, let's actually put in the input the name. This is I'm making the 2JZ GTE, which is the twin turbocharged variant. And then I think we will need some forged heavy pistons to make sure that we can deal with that torque load. Now if you want me to make another variant of the 2JZ, or maybe an LS engine, replicate something perfectly, something like that, then please do let me know and I will do that. We're obviously going to go for an harmonic dampener because we can't really not. And I'm just going to up the quality by 2 small points here, because we know how good the quality of this engine was, even though it did not actually come with 1,000 horsepower stock, you know, as some people think. It was incredibly good quality. So the compression is at 8.5 to 1, and now these cam profile and springs and lifters, these aren't really actual engine statistics, so I am going to tune and adjust these later according to the power of this engine and torque output, stuff like that. So the 2JZ GTE had VVTi, so VVT on the intake, so that's great, and we're going to rev to 6,800 RPMs right there, so that's very nice, and I think I'm just going to up the quality of that just by 1 there as well. Now, as I did say, 2JZ GTE, so we're making the twin turbocharged variant. So we have a wastegate, that's fine. I think we can lower the horsepower on the intercooler to 319, that seems around good, and it was actually a journal bearing. Now we're going to select one of these presets later and then tune it from there, so I'm just going to leave this box empty here for right now. We had multi-point electronic fuel injection per cylinder actually, so that's the best we can select for this time in this game. And as for the intake manifold, I'm just going to select performance mid. I feel like that's kind of logical. So fuel required, let's just go regular here. I'm going to make the ignition timing pretty advanced. I think that we do want that. Am I going to add some quality? We'll just add 1 quality point, because you remember this is a quality engine. I think the most important thing is to just not, actually, I'll add the quality point to here and I'll take it away from here. But I think the most important thing is to just not spam quality points, because that's totally unrealistic. But I think you can use quality points as a good thing in this game. So turbo mid here. And if I do select turbo mid, that's a little large, so I will decrease the header size slightly. Sadly, we can only choose a single exhaust, but that's fine. So that means we're gonna wanna up the size of that by quite a bit. And as for the catalytic converter, we're gonna go 3-way and then baffled and reverse flow, or actually I think we'll go double baffled mufflers. I think that's a bit better. Now you know what? I'll do. Hold on, let me look that up. Okay, so, even though these are technically not really parts of an engine, but we do need to configure them here, so I am going to go for a baffled second muffler. And now there's a cool thing in automation. I'm pretty sure it was the Ellsbury update that we got, which shows the max engine power output. And as you can see, ours is up here. There's a very faint little bit of a logo there, which might move down later, but you can see it there. That's where the line of max engine output, something like that, whatever it is at. So we don't really need to worry about that for right now, do we? So I'm just going to put this on the standard preset and then tune it from there. There we go. In my opinion, I think I've done a pretty good job with tuning the turbo right here. This looks pretty good for me. This logo, which we had right there, is moved down now, and as you can see, it is in fact the power density limit, and we are right there. Actually, it has to do with power and not torque, so we are definitely good. It says it's kind of knocking, but the reliability reduction is 0, so I'm not really going to worry about that for right now. Now we'll move back to this area where we had to tune a few more things as well. Now it seems to have put our RPM limit down a little. We'll have to put that up. This is going down way too far, so I think I'll just up my springs and lifters to around 60. Any higher is not going to do much apparently, so that's fine. Now we are actually outputting a little too much power, so I believe the 2JZ had 276 horsepower and 318 foot-pound of torque, and that 318 is equal to 431. Yeah, it is 431 newton meters. Just had to check my maths there in my head. That is 431 newton meters. So we are basically almost good here. What I think I'll do is I'll put the cam profile down, and that should lower the horsepower down a little and raise the torque. There we go. That is, wow, that is very good. Okay. Now, so it is so the 2JZ is factory rated at 276 horsepower, but in reality, a lot of them actually outputted a lot more than that. So I'm not too worried that the numbers are slightly off. I mean, it is automation. You're never going to get it perfect, but it does surprise me how close you can get this to perfection. The engine weight, for example, of the 2JZ GTE was 224 kilograms, and we're only 2.4 kilograms over. So honestly, that is near perfect for me. As for the material costs, this is definitely looking pretty good as well there. Service costs seem a little high. I'm not sure how they're calculated in this game, so maybe that's completely normal. So I've done the last few tuning things. Once again, we are off by like 1.2 foot-pounds, something like that, and a few horsepower. But of course, the factory rated numbers are never correct on the decimal, really, and well, as I did actually literally say earlier, the factory rated was 276 horsepower, but a lot of them actually outputted more than that. Also due to the turbo tuning. So, you know, honestly, in my opinion, this is good enough. If you have any improvements for me, then please do let me know down in the comments. Honestly, I feel like this is kind of the closest we are going to get. So now we do have a little bit of restriction here, as well as here and here, but that should not be actually a problem at all. Of course, nothing is going to flow perfectly, and if we want to comply with emissions, then maybe we shouldn't have the exhaust flow at 5 million%. Anyways, basically, this is all looking pretty good in my opinion. I'll just quickly cycle through this. Actually, what we want to do here is record the sound of this engine and then compare that to the sound of an actual 2JZ. So let's do that real fast. So assuming my ears are decent, the sound was fairly similar, you know, for as much as automation can actually make valid engine sounds as close to whatever they are. Anyways, in my opinion, this was a success. And to end this video off, I'll just quickly cycle through this so that if you wish to do so, you can just keep on pausing the video here and replicate it. Because as I did say, I sadly can't supply a download for only the engine, and you know, that's not really so useful. So if you wish to replicate it, then you can do so right now. Oh yeah, and I would appreciate some credit if you're going to end up using it for something. Thank you.
I can't